Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Jordan Jumpman 2020. So as you know, Jordan brand has actually been making some really good performing budget models. The Jumpman 2020 goes for $110, so it's right there at that budget price range, and also does come in 3 colorways right now on Nike.com. So there's a very simple black and white, this colorway, and then a white, black, and red one. And if you guys do want to get it, I'll leave a link in the description box. But yeah, let's get it started off with the traction. So as far as the traction goes, there are 2 types of herringbones on this. There's a smaller, tighter herringbone pattern here where the zoom pod is, and then surrounding that with a solid white outsole, there's a bigger herringbone pattern. And as far as the traction goes, real squeaky. Stop on a clean court is really good, but it does pick up dust, and when it does pick up dust, it does start slipping out. And if you let a little too much dust build up on the traction, it does start sliding out. And also another thing I did notice is that when you're trying to stop going forward, it does slide a little bit when there is a little bit of dust. When it's clean, it stops pretty damn well. Actually a really good stop, but then when you let dust build up a little bit, it does slide like a good amount actually. It kind of reminds me of the Jordan 31, like some of the Adidas basketball shoes, where it does slide and go a little bit forward. But for some reason, doing lateral movements, even with like a little bit of dust buildup, it seemed really like pretty good. So like doing pull-ups, when you're doing pull-ups, you're going like this, like running forward or whatever, and trying to stop while going forward. It wasn't the best, but for lateral movements it was really good. And as far as durability goes, the rubber where the zoom pod is seems pretty soft, but I don't really have any fraying or anything. And then the herringbone, the big herringbone surrounding that, seems to be really solid. It's a really hard rubber there. So as far as durability goes, I feel like it'll actually be pretty good even for outdoor use. So traction, really good. Just watch out for dust and also that problem with sliding forward. Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, very smooth. There's a good amount of heel compression. The cushion does protrude out a lot here, if you guys can see. And that allows the cushion to compress a little bit more, but it does feel a little bit bulkier, especially when they do it a little too much. Adidas shoes does that a lot. But yeah, good amount of compression. There's a nice little flex in the forefoot, and there's also a curved shape here in the forefoot that helps propel you forward. So heel to toe transition does feel very smooth and fluid. As far as the cushion goes, really nice. I feel like it's probably the best part about the shoe. The foam that they're using is probably just a Phylon, but in the heel there's actually a nice little bounce, a lot of a good amount of compression. Impact protection is great. And also the 4-foot zoom unit, that's actually a pretty large volume zoom unit, and it doesn't feel like as crazy as the Jordan 34 or anything. I'm guessing that it's not as thick, but it feels pretty similar to I guess the PG3s, but like a little bit bigger than the PG3s, or I'd say the CP3.12. So yeah, there's a nice little bounce in the 4-foot from that zoom unit, and the heel cushion feels incredible. I love it. Slight bounce, good impact protection, court feels actually good. So yeah, the cushion setup in this shoe is incredible. As far as the materials go, this is where you obviously do notice, Jordan did need to cut some of the costs out of the shoe, and they did it with the materials. It feels like a real flimsy mesh, and especially at first it feels really flimsy. It gets a little bit softer once you break it in, but it's still like pretty flimsy, and it doesn't feel quality at all. There is a nice fused material around the toe for toe drags. And of course here in the ankle area, I believe this is synthetic leather. On foot, it's actually a really thin material, so it feels very minimal, and on foot it feels pretty nice, but just like quality looking at it and feeling it in hand, it doesn't feel great. And also there's a good amount of padding here in the ankle area. So materials, they're okay. They get the job done, especially if you're just playing with it and it's just on foot. You don't really notice anything. There's no pinching, it feels minimal and stuff. But as far as quality goes, it's not really there. Moving on to the fit. So I went true to size with this shoe, and it runs pretty small. My foot is like pretty much right at the edge, and I did notice my toe banging. So I should have probably went up half a size. So if you don't like that, and you don't like a really snug fit, lengthwise, then I would suggest going up half a size. Width-wise, I would say it's slightly narrow. I believe if I went up half a size, you know, it wouldn't be as tight, but like my foot was kind of like choking out. But I believe it's because, you know, it was a small fit for me. And as far as the toe space goes, it's pretty tight. So there's not a lot of toe space or anything, so the fit in the toe area felt good. So if you can, I would suggest going up half a size. And wide footers, beware, probably not the best option for you. As far as putting it on, very easy. The tongue, you know, pulls out a lot, and there's not really much of a pull tab or anything, you know, like the modern pull tabs like in the Ultra Boost, but it is very easy to slide on and just tighten the shoes up. And moving on to the support and lockdown, it felt great. Lateral movements seemed great. I didn't really have any issues. Maybe I feel like the cushion does come up a little bit here in the forefoot area and also in the heel to cage you in. And of course there is an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral movements, I was stable. As far as an outrigger goes, there is a little bit of there's not an outrigger, but the actual foam and the rubber does protrude out a lot here on the lateral side in the forefoot. So I felt laterally stable, and also this does go up pretty high on the ankle, but I didn't really feel a lot of ankle restriction. So if you're looking for ankle protection or anything, you don't really get it, but you can fit an ankle brace in it. I didn't really have any issues with that. So support and lockdown, very, very good in the shoe. All right, moving on to the weight. This shoe weighs 12.1 ounces, and that's actually lighter than average. So it feels pretty damn light. Traction is really good on a clean court. Dust, you gotta wipe a lot, so you're gonna be slipping a little bit. So you do feel pretty quick on your feet while playing in the shoe. Alright, as far as step and comfort, just casually walking around, I would say it's actually a really comfortable shoe because the cushion is just so soft and comfortable. And the materials get pretty soft, especially when you're just walking around in it. Ventilation was pretty good. The materials are very thin, you know, it's a very airy mesh as well. So I did feel a little bit of airflow through it. And it wasn't like a crazy hot shoe or anything. Moving on to the durability. Durability seems good. The only thing I am worried about is the materials. The materials do feel cheap, pretty flimsy, and it's a really thin material. Yeah, so the materials don't seem like it's gonna last a long time, so just watch out for that. But the outsole seems like a very durable outsole. Alright, aesthetically, the Jumpman 2020, I don't know, like it takes some design cues from the Jordan 34, but it looks like a really budget shoe, and not my favorite silhouette ever. So yeah, it's aight. Tell us what you guys think of the Jumpman 2020 down in the comment section below. But wrapping things up, for 110 bucks, I mean, it's a really good performer. If the traction was a little bit better, I would even say like it's comparable to the PG3s, because you know the materials are very thin, minimal, even though it's pretty cheap. The cushion is very, very nice, feels very similar. You know, there's a forefoot zoom unit, heel is very soft, traction is really good, besides on dust. I really enjoyed it. Besides, you know, you guys already know that I do play on a really dusty court most of the time. You know, 24-hour fitness, they usually don't clean it. Dusty most of the time, so I did find myself wiping a lot. But the days that the court was clean, I really, really enjoyed playing this. So good job on Jordan's part for, you know, making this budget model. They've been killing it with the budget shoes. A lot of their budget shoes have been performing very, very well. So yeah, Jumpman 2020, it is recommended, but like I keep saying, just watch out for that dust. So yeah, if you guys want to get it, I'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next one.